Imagine reaching into an old coin jar or flipping through a forgotten collection and suddenly spotting a Liberty half-dollar from 1990. At first glance, it might feel like just another piece of pocket change. But what if I told you that this coin has the potential to turn the tables for you in ways you never imagined? This is not just about a half-dollar. It's about the history it carries, the rarity of its condition, and the unexpected values it can bring on major selling platforms like eBay, heritage auctions, and other online marketplaces. If you own one of these coins, you might just be sitting on an opportunity worth exploring. Stick around until the end, because I'll reveal how collectors are pricing it today and how you can sell one if you have it. The Liberty half-dollar, also known as the Kennedy half-dollar, has been a staple in American coinage since 1964, minted to honor President John F. Kennedy after his tragic assassination. By 1990, the half-dollar was still being produced in large numbers, but something had changed. It was no longer widely circulated in everyday transactions. Instead, it became more of a collector's coin, with many people saving them in mint rolls or sets. That makes the 1990 half-dollar an interesting find, because while millions were made, the real value lies in its grade, errors, and collector demand. Most of the 1990 half-dollars you'll find are made of a copper nickel-clad composition with a face value of 50 cents, but their market price can be far higher depending on condition. Circulated coins typically trade close to face value, but when you move into uncirculated proof or error varieties, the value can rise quickly. On eBay, for example, circulated 1990 Liberty half-dollars may sell between $1 and $5, while mint state graded examples can fetch anywhere from $15 to $50. Proof coins, especially those with cameo or deep cameo designations, can bring in $30 to well over $100, depending on the demand at auction. But here's where it gets even more exciting. Error coins from 1990 are extremely desirable. Mistrikes, double dies, off-center strikes, or coins struck on the wrong planche can sell for hundreds, sometimes even over $1,000 when certified by grading authorities like PCGS or NGC. Auction results have shown that collectors are willing to pay a premium when the error is dramatic and the coin's condition is solid. That's why checking your coin carefully is so important. Heritage Auctions and Stax Bowers have listed high-grade examples of 1990 half-dollars that reached impressive hammer prices, especially when encapsulated in top-tier grades like MS67 or higher. These coins are not common, and collectors know that finding one in pristine condition is like striking gold. Add an error into the mix and the value multiplies significantly. Now, before we reveal the full potential, selling price, and how you can actually cash in on a coin like this, let's recap why it's so special. The 1990 Liberty half-dollar sits at the crossroads of history and collector demand. It's not old enough to be considered ancient, but it is past the point of being common pocket change. It exists in a sweet spot where rarity, condition, and market trends decide its true worth. If you've got one of these coins, especially in near-perfect or proof condition, it could be worth far more than you ever expected. Some listings have sold quietly for surprising amounts, and buyers are always scanning the market for high-grade and rare examples. And as mentioned in the start, if you happen to own this coin, it might truly turn the tables for you. Stick around, because here's what you need to do. Check your coin's condition carefully. If it looks sharp, shiny, and without obvious wear, it could be uncirculated or even proof. If you spot any unusual features like doubling, off-center designs, or other errors, you could be holding a jackpot. Once you know what you have, you'll need to decide how to sell it. Online platforms like eBay, Etsy, and collector forums are the most direct way to reach buyers. Certified grading, however, adds credibility and can dramatically increase your selling price. Submitting your coin to PCGS or NGC for authentication and grading is often worth the investment if your coin looks pristine or has an error. So, here's where I leave it to you. Drop the price you think this coin could be worth in the comments, and I'll personally tell you the exact price range and guide you through the selling procedure. Whether you're sitting on a 50-cent piece or a hidden treasure worth hundreds, your 1990 Liberty half-dollar could be far more valuable than you think.
Channel where history, mystery, and value come together in every coin we discuss. Today we are going to dive deep into the story of one of the most fascinating coins of the 20th century, the 1941 Liberty wheat penny. Now, before we get into the details, let me tell you this: if you happen to own this coin, It might just turn the tables for you. Stick around until the very end of the video, because I will share how much this coin can be worth in today's market, and how you can sell it for the best price. And at the end, I'll ask you to comment the word price in the comment section, and I'll personally tell you its real selling value and the exact process of how to sell it safely and profitably. The 1941 Liberty Wheat penny was minted during a turning point in world history. The United States had not yet entered World War II, but the conflict was already raging across Europe and Asia. The production of this coin took place under those looming circumstances, giving it not just monetary value, but also historical depth. Every penny struck in 1941 carries with it the weight of a nation preparing for one of the greatest struggles in human history, designed by Victor David Brenner. The obverse side of the 1941 Liberty Wheat penny features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln. This portrait was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, and by 1941 it had already become a national symbol of honesty, unity, and strength. The design remained unchanged, giving this coin a sense of continuity and tradition, linking Americans through generations. On the reverse side, the coin proudly displays two wheat stalks arching along the edges, framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. Above sits the motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many one. These wheat stalks symbolize prosperity, labor, and growth, a theme that resonated deeply with Americans who were still recovering from the Great Depression while facing the threat of another global conflict. The 1941 wheat penny was struck at 3 different U.S. mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia mint coins bore no mint mark, while the Denver mint coins carried a small D, and the San Francisco coins a small S. Collectors often look for these mint marks, as they can greatly influence the rarity and value of a coin. In terms of production, the numbers were staggering. More than 887 million pennies were minted in 1941, making it one of the most common years for wheat pennies. But here's the twist: while the coin might be common in general, the real treasure lies in its variations, mint marks, and above all, its condition. A 1941 penny found in your pocket change today may not be worth much more than a cent, but in high grades, or with special errors, it can fetch impressive sums. Error coins are particularly fascinating.
1945 Liberty Wheat penny is one of the final wartime issues in the Lincoln Cent series, minted during the closing chapters of World War II. At this time, the United States was fully committed to the war effort, and every aspect of the economy, including coin production, was influenced by the needs of the military. The wheat penny design, created by Victor David Brenner in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, had already been in circulation for 36 years by 1945. The obverse front of the coin features Lincoln's right-facing bust, a bold yet humble portrayal of the 16th U.S. president whose leadership during the Civil War saved the Union. The inscriptions in God We Trust appear above. Liberty is to the left, and the date 1945 is positioned to the right, depending on the mint location. A mint mark may appear beneath the date. No mint mark for Philadelphia, D for Denver, and S for San Francisco. The reverse back is adorned with 2 curved wheat stalks framing the inscriptions. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 1 billion wheat pennies in 1945.1040, 515,000 to be exact, making it one of the most common dates of the series. Denver produced 266,268,000 coins, and San Francisco minted 181,770,000. This abundance means that most circulated 1945 cents are easy to find today, but pristine, uncirculated examples, especially in high mint state readiness road condition, are much scarcer and more valuable for collectors. The 1945 wheat penny offers more than just numismatic value. It as a tangible relic of a turning point in history. When these coins were released, Germany had surrendered in May 1945, ending the war in Europe, and Japan surrendered in August 1945. Following the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, soldiers were returning home. Industry was shifting from war production to consumer goods, and Americans were entering a period of economic optimism. Circulation. These pennies were part of everyday life, used to buy candy, newspapers, and soda. They jingled in the pockets of guests, factory workers, and school children alike. The wheat design itself, introduced in the early 20th century, carried a sense of tradition and stability qualities. The nation greatly valued during and after the war. Collectors especially looked for full red luster, sharp strike details in Lincoln's hair and beard, and clean wheat lines on the reverse. Certain era varieties from 1945 can be valuable, including off-center strikes, die cracks, and repunch mint marks or pennies, particularly from the Denver and San Francisco mints. The average circulated 1945 wheat penny is worth only a few cents over face value, but in high mint state grades values can reach $50. 100. Imagine finding a 2003 Liberty $quarter in your collection or pocket change and thinking it is just another ordinary coin. But what if this little piece of change has the power to completely turn the tables for you? Many collectors overlook modern quarters, but the truth is some of them are selling online for amounts that will surprise you. From eBay sales to big auction houses, these coins are attracting attention, and if you happen to own one, you might be holding on to a hidden treasure. Stick around until the end of this video because I'll reveal what these coins are worth today and how you can sell them if you have. 1. The 2003 Liberty $quarter is part of the State Quarters program, launched by the United States Mint in 1999. Each year, 5 new designs were released to honor individual states, making this one of the most collected coin series in U.S. history. In 2003, the states honored were Illinois, Alabama, Maine, Missouri, and Arkansas. Each of these coins tells a unique story, from Abraham Lincoln standing proudly on the Illinois quarter to Arkansas, featuring rice stalks and a diamond, a nod to its rich natural resources. Because millions of these quarters were struck for circulation, most people assume they have no real value beyond 25 cents. However, as collectors know, the value comes down to condition, rarity, and errors. Circulated examples are usually worth face value, but if you come across an uncirculated or proof version, the market changes completely. On eBay you can find 2003 state quarters selling in the range of $1 to $5 for circulated examples, while mint state graded coins often bring $10, $20, or even $50 depending on the grade. Proof versions, especially silver proofs minted for collectors, can sell for $30 to $70 and sometimes higher when they're certified by grading companies like PCGS or NGC. The real game changers are error coins, off-center strikes, double die errors, clipped blankets, or coins struck on the wrong metal planchet can bring in serious money. These errors are rare but highly desirable, and auction results have shown they can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars when authenticated. Collectors are always searching for these unusual varieties, and the 2003 quarters are no exception. Heritage auctions, Stack's Bowers, and other numismatic auction houses have seen certain high-grade 2003 quarters climb well past their expected value. For example, coins graded MS67 or MS68 are scarce and can easily reach into the hundreds at auction. Even common state designs like Illinois or Arkansas can surprise collectors when the coin is flawless or has a rare